Here are the horoscopes for the week of the 15th to the 21st of July 2019. We very much carry on the tone from last week, which was day on, day off, looking deeply into finding parts of ourselves that we'd left behind in the past, as we do tend to get very narrowed when we follow a linear trajectory and leave some of our vital essence in the distant future and forget that that's part of us. So the soul retrieval aspect of last week does continue this week as we build up towards the full moon partial lunar eclipse in Capricorn. But first, on Monday we have Venus opposite Saturn. This permeates the whole week as well, and the key words here are purity is strength. So Venus being our heart, what we love, what we care about, how we love, our deep rooted feeling of oneness and health and creativity and love. Opposite Saturn, which helps us to bring things into structure, to find our centre, to develop a strong and flexible core. So Saturn can teach us lessons. That's definitely one of the aspects of Saturn, but they're only the lessons that we want to learn right now. So Venus opposite Saturn, going into the root, what supports us, what sustains us, what do we really stand on and for, and learning to take action from that place of deep-seated knowing of what's right and true. This will actually lead us on the path to success that we've been looking for, as we've been held in the balance over the summer solstice with Neptune retrograde, not being allowed to step forwards from the mind in the usual pathways, but going into the centre to feel deeply into what really matters for us, where we're really coming from. Where we're coming from is very much part of the retrospection on Tuesday as we head towards the full moon in Capricorn, 24 degrees if you're following along. This is a partial lunar eclipse that's visible across most of the world and happening at 22:39 UK time. So this is the second in a pair of eclipses. We had the new moon in Cancer eclipse 2 weeks ago, and we've journeyed into that. We've had 2 weeks of introspection in the very deep sign of Cancer. Now the full moon comes along in the opposite sign of Capricorn, and this is supercharged and speaks of destiny and purpose. So who are we and where are we heading as a group is one of the questions that hangs in the balance. We've gone back to the past to look with fresh eyes, to recollect all that we are, in order that when we step forwards we're coming from a much more holistic place. So if we know where we're coming from and who we are, then we can know where we want to apply that and where we're going to. So we've looked back, we've dissolved the fears, the blocks, the limitations, negative perspectives or skewed perspectives, and realigned to our purpose and our devotion for creating a new way of being. A full moon can come along and highlight things, so it's a time to stop and reflect on the journey that you've been on the soul retrieval aspect, and on who you truly are, what you care about, and where you want to direct that in the future. We all play a part in the vital changes that are taking place right now, and it's our responsibility at this time to maintain and nourish and amplify our unique frequency. Everybody's transmitting a unique frequency. We're not all here to be the same or to follow anyone else, but our contribution on a vibrational level adds to the collective, which is rising up and being amplified around the world at this time. So the reflection is on consciousness and vibration. And my words of power for this moon are awareness, co-creation and change. Capricorn likes to work hard, but with this realignment at least we'll be putting our energy into something that's worth the hard work and that will deliver the results. It's another complex week, day by day, like last week. By Wednesday, more memories from the distant past will become apparent. They're sort of hovering in our peripheral vision and can only really be felt in the quieter moments of the day. So this is not a day to be busy and distracted, but we continue the soul retrieval energy from last week as even more pieces of the puzzle are brought back into wholeness and integrity. So allow some space for reflection and enjoy the reconnection back to the whole of you on the day after the lunar eclipse has delivered its message. So by Thursday, do you feel whole and complete? If not, where are the gaps? What do you feel that you're missing? And is that just a perception or belief? Is it a habitual thought that you lack something? Can you dive in and find the answers within? This full moon seems to be delivering its message in stages. And pondering lack, pondering the gaps, pondering whether they're real is an aspect that I feel that we can tune into on Thursday. By Friday, Mercury retrogrades back into Cancer, so we're in the Mercury retrograde phase, we're in Leo and then going back into Cancer. Mercury is the conscious mind, but it's skipped hemispheres in retrograde, and now it's the intuitive senses. Cancer is the primordial ocean, it's the waters in our body, our subconscious thoughts and feelings. So Mercury wants us to dive into our subconscious thoughts and feelings, using the conscious mind, but feeling intuitively, not trying to make sense of things mentally, and bringing everything into a state of pure coherence. So another day not to be too active, to quieten the chatter, and to listen to the messages that we're constantly receiving when we're not too distracted or full of our daily lives. Because these are the messages that guide us through the intuition, through tuning in, to listen and to feel. This is where we're guided to where we need to be. So be calm and focused inwards. Find a sense of inner peace. This is the real prize, rather than the plans and the goals and the way that we're taught to think. Because we are stepping forwards now over the next few weeks, but only because we've gone right to the centre to discover what's actually worth putting our vital life force energy into. And by the weekend we have two aspects. We've got Venus opposite Pluto now. So Saturn and Pluto are travelling very close together. Venus opposes Saturn for most of the week, shoring us up, and now opposite Pluto. I feel this will bring up power in relationships. So either empowering and valuing and alchemizing our relationship connections with others, or revealing imbalances so that we can fix them, so that we can recenter, rebalance, recalibrate and bring our relationships into harmony. But we also have Mercury retrograde meeting back with the Sun. And the Sun is in Cancer, which is a very emotional sign. It's where we do care, it's where we emote with others. So for Mercury retrograde to go back and meet the Sun, there may be some discussions or revelations that pop into our awareness that show us where we need to make the necessary changes. And the combination of these two energies, I feel, is that we must honour ourselves first, and our whole selves, in honour to engage in honourable contracts with others. So another very powerful week with all the retrogrades, with the eclipses, with nodes, and sense of destiny hanging in the balance all across Cancer and Capricorn, being masters of our feelings, finding our inner strength, standing true and strong, and being focused on where we spend our energy and where we apply our thoughts and actions towards real and meaningful goals, individually and as a collective. So if you'd like a soul retrieval reading, I am available one-to-one or online, where we can look at where this is happening in your chart, because all of us will be feeling this differently. I've never quite seen energies like this, so it's a really good study to follow along daily and to reconnect with our own soul plan and see who we are and what we came here to contribute. So if you'd like to meet up, I'm available on email, zoehines7@gmail.com, daily on Facebook at AstroZo, and Instagram at zoehines7, and most of my readings and events and products are listed on my website www.astrozo.com. So if you'd like to dive in to your wholeness, reconnect to your soul centre, then please do contact me. So those are the horoscopes for this week, and I'll see you next week.